Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the channel. This time, another brand new, never before played game on the channel, Battlelore Second Edition. I actually played this game 20 years ago. Let's see, when did this game come out? It came out in 2013. So maybe 10 years ago I played this game. It's been a long time since I played Battlelore 2nd Edition. But it's the first time it's on our channel. Another new game to introduce to you guys. Show you how it plays and see how it is now. I got 1st Edition Battlelore. We played that, I don't know, like a year ago. And when we picked up Runebound about 2 weeks ago, I picked up Battlelore as well, thinking, well, we'll try a couple of these games from the early to mid 2010s and see how well they still hold up nowadays, because I really enjoyed them back in the day. As far as Runebound went, we had a really good time playing Runebound. It was a little bit longer game than I wanted to do, but it still was pretty good. Let's find out if Battlelore 2nd Edition holds weight still after all of these years, and find out if it's something that is going to be a good find. You can still pick up the 2nd Edition, although they're not as common or easy as they were in the past, but still, I would say I played a lot of 1st Edition, and I put a lot of money into the 1st Edition back in the day, buying some upgrades and some expansion packs and everything. So when the 2nd Edition came out, I think I bought like the core box. I didn't like some of the changes to the rules, so I didn't invest very much in the 2nd Edition. So I don't think that's what I think a lot of people were like me, had invested a lot of money in the 1st Edition, bought the core box of the 2nd Edition, and said, "No, I don't like the changes," and they just didn't get into it. So at that point, Battlelore kind of died because it wasn't bringing the revenue in for Fantasy Flight. They said, if nobody wants it, we'll stop making it. And that's as simple as it is. It's all supply and demand. All right, so we're going to be doing so here's the one thing about 2nd Edition. There is no quote-unquote scenarios. What you do is, and it's kind of interesting actually, is you have these cards for each side, and each side chooses their card that they're going to perform for their side of the board. So like they have Damming the Mur River, or borrow mounds of the gatesman. And each one of these is going to have different terrains and different special abilities. I'll give you a look at a couple of them here. So the second edition is all about, here's one of the last bridge. And each of them are give you victory point bonus to do certain things on your side. So for us, the two that we have is Mustering the Militia for the blue side, and for the red side, it is Blood in the Water. So Mustering the Militia. So Mustering the Militia, during setup, each Citadel Guard that you deploy costs 1 fewer muster points, and then you gain 1 victory point for every 2 building hexes occupied by friendly units. For the red side, they have Blood in the Water. Friendly cavalry units may move into and across water hexes. Friendly cavalry units do not need to end their movement when they enter a water hex, even if that hex contains a forward tile. When an enemy unit occupying a water hex or a hex adjacent to the water is eliminated, gain a victory point. Blood in the Water is the name of this. So 2nd edition Battlelore is all about generating your own scenarios through using these scenario cards for your side, and then you are building you get certain amount of points to muster your units. They have different I'm trying to see if I have those cards. They have different cards to show you, okay, here's like an example. Here's a brutal assault. If you want to do a brutal assault, these are the units you can add. Or if you want to do a mounted assault, these are the units. You can build it however you want. These are just some suggestions. And so a lot of the game was about creating your scenario on your side of the board and then putting your units down and building the armies and building all that stuff, and then finally playing the scenario. And for me, and I think a lot of other people, it was like in 1st edition of Battlelore, they had just scenarios. Here's the scenario, here's the layout of the map, here's the units come on, boom, boom, boom. This is what you start with, go. And it was very quick and easy. And you were playing the scenario in maybe 10 minutes. You got the game set up, put the units out, you're ready to go. And this one, you literally spend, especially if you're playing face-to-face, you're spending half an hour to an hour just setting up the battle, because you're going through your scenario cards, figuring out which one you want to use, and then figuring out which units you want. And then there's this whole process where you take these cards and put them down on the terrain on your side of the board that will have your units on them, but you put them face down so your opponent doesn't know. You put out a bunch of them. You put out like 18 of them. You get to put out 18 cards. You might only have 10 units, so there's like 8 dummy cards, so your opponent doesn't know where you're positioning all your units and stuff. So if you're doing all this face-to-face, you can see it's a big, long process. It's going to take you a long time to do. And I think that turned a lot of people off, including myself. And again, the second thing of that was 1st edition came out in... When did 1st edition Battlelore come out? Hang on. Uh, 2006. 2nd edition came out in 2013. So in 2006, when 1st edition came out, I bought the 1st edition and bought a bunch of the expansions and all the different units and all the different terrain pieces and files and this, that, and the other thing. So when the 2nd edition came out, it was kind of like, okay, I don't see much advantage to switching over to second edition. I didn't like the rules with the second edition as much. And I really, when I ordered Battlelore second edition, I was thinking, man, I have first edition. And I thought the first edition was really good. Why didn't I get second edition? And I couldn't remember until I got the game and was looking it over. And then I remembered, oh yeah, that's why. That's why I didn't like the game to begin with. That's why I didn't have the game. So, but we're going to try it out. Maybe it's better now. Maybe it's worse. I don't know. We're going to try it out and see. Hey, Doug, how you doing? Good to see you. Freds, what's going on? Good to see everyone out there. So, I'm just going through the backstory of Battlelore 2nd Edition, my history with it, and I've played a lot of it. Again, I played a lot of 1st Edition Battlelore, bought a lot into the system. 2nd Edition came out. You spend half an hour to an hour setting it all up, and by the time you get to actually play it, you're kind of, it's kind of lost its luster. And it's also like, I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of money, invest back into this system when I already have 1st edition. Anyways, let's get it to the table and see what we got. So here's the overhead camera. I can actually just get rid of my portrait. Or, you know what I can do? Maybe I can make it a little bit smaller. Maybe move it over here. Second thing is, where is my... Okay, so you can see the blue faction, which is up here at the top. They chose this card, and they're mustering their armies. They chose more of a strategy with lots of different units. They actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different units, as opposed to the red, which only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So more units, but you can see with the red faction, they actually have like their boss. Their big boss. And I don't have his arm and tail glued in like I should, but that's okay. All right. So the other thing is there's these unit cards for each of the different units. I've got those laid down at the bottom. The red faction has 4 different units. They have their Chaos Lord, which is their legendary hero. Chaos Lord. Legendary Melee. And then he's got a bunch of special abilities. He only moves 1 space. He has 4 attack dice. He's got 6 life with him. Then we have 2 of these abominations here, or obscenes. They're elite militia. Craving. During your move step, this unit may move 1 additional step, as long as it ends this additional movement adjacent to an enemy unit. And ferocity during your opponent's attack step. If this unit would be forced to retreat, this unit may counter before it retreats. 1 movement, 4 dice, and 3 life. They have the Flesh Ripper, which are these dog, wolf, hound things. Flesh Rippers. They're cavalry melee. Bloodthirst. If the target unit has suffered 1 or more damage, cause 1 damage. And they have Pursuit 2. Instead of using Advanced, this unit may move up to 2 X's and perform an additional attack. You move 3 spaces, 3 dice to attack, and 3 health. Last but not least, they have the Blood Harvesters, which is your infantry melee. Range, add 1 die to each combat roll performed by this unit for each figure missing from this unit. And they have Frenzy, cause 1 damage. Remove 1 figure from this unit after combat. Moves 2, 3 dice, and 3 life. For the blue side over there, they only have 3 different units. They basically have a guard unit with the big spike or big pole arm. They have an archer unit, which is the yeoman archers, and then they have a cavalry unit, which is the River Watch riders. So the Citadel Guard is infantry knight melee. If he rolls a crossed swords like that one, you can cancel 1 retreat, and then pursue 1 instead of using an advance. This unit may move 1 hex and perform 1 additional attack. It has a movement of 2, 3 dice, and 3 life. We have the Yeoman Archers, which is infantry archer ranged. Double shot. If this unit does not move during the move step, it may perform an additional attack during your attack step. It has 2 movement, 2 dice, and 3 life. And last but not least, our Riverwatch Raiders cavalry, melee cavalry. Vigilant. Enemy units cannot counter this unit's attacks. Flanking. Add 1 unit to each combat roll performed by other friendly units adjacent. Start again. Flanking. Add 1 die to each combat unit performed by other friendly units against enemy units adjacent to this guy. Flanking units add a maximum of 1 die per combat roll. They move at 4. They have 2 attacks or 2 dice, and they have 3 life. All right. So that is the layout. You see the scenario. We also have another. Kind of camera set up so you can see a little bit from the side and see the layout and see the different units and the size and everything. I'm not sure which one would work better for you guys. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think would be better to see. All right. Now, with all that said, each side comes with their own special lore deck. These are basically your spells that you can cast. And each side is going to start with 2 of these. So the blue side is going to start with those 2. The red side, and then both sides start with 2 lore. So there's the blue lore, and I'll put the red lore here because when I put it down here you can't see it. So each side starts with 2 lore as well. And the red is going to do those 2, okay. And then we have the command deck, which we can shuffle up here. Side view is always nice, whereas overhead gives better overhead. Slightly tilted overhead is usually the best. It's always tricky to try and find out what works the best. That's for sure. All right, so blue is going to start with these 4 cards, and red is going to start with these 4 cards. Now, normally what you do to determine who which side gets the initiative is whichever side has the lowest number of, but in this case it's A1 versus A1, so they're the same. So what we're going to have to do is roll a dice. Whoever rolls higher gets initiative. Whoever rolls higher gets initiative. Not sure where I'm going to put their cards yet. Alright, whichever side rolls higher wins initiative. And red is 1 initiative. Alright, so we'll look at red first here. Just looking at these special abilities here. Alright, so you can see some of the... So the blue team is going to get an extra victory point, 1 extra victory point if they occupy, for every 2 buildings they occupy with their units, they would get 1 extra victory point. Red is going to get an extra victory point anytime they kill a blue unit that's in or adjacent to a water hex, and their cavalry units, which are actually the dogs here, can move into and through water hexes. Normally you can't do that, but in this case they can. There is 2 fords in the river right here and right here. Besides that, the river's not crossable except for the cavalry unit for the red team. So red gets to go first, eh? Okay. Also, each side has a token. They're actually in this same location. If you have a unit on here, you get a victory point as well. So capturing those and fighting over that might be kind of important. Okay. So red... Alright, so red is going to perform attack right. So he's going to activate 3 units on the right flank over here. So I think he's going to activate these 3 units right here, all 3 of these guys. And the blood harvesters can move 2. So he's going to go 1, 2. This guy can move 3 spaces. He's actually going to move 1, 2, 3. And then this guy is going to move 1, 2. So that is red's move. He will draw a card at the end of his turn. And then... at the end of your turn, you can either take 2 lore, you can take 1 lore and 1 card, or you can take 2 cards. But if you take 2 cards, you have to discard a card. So he is going to... He's going to do 1 and 1. So he's going to get 1 lore, and he's going to draw 1 card. And that is the red player's turn. Done. Put his deck over here. We move on to the blue player now. Okay. Let's see. What is he going to do? What does he want to do? Hmm. Alright, he is going to play echelon left, so he'd be playing it from this way. So he's going to activate 2 units on that side and 1 on this side. And let's see. His Citadel Guards are going to move 1, 2. He's going to take over this town right here. And then these guys are going to go 1. And then the cavalry can go up to 4 spaces. But he's going to go 1, 2. All right. Then we're going to have some combat. So he's going to have his Citadel Guards attack the dogs. And they get 3 dice. But because they're adjacent to our Riverwatch Riders, add 1 die to each combat roll performed by other friendly units adjacent to enemy units. Gets enemy units adjacent to this unit. So he's fighting a unit that's adjacent to that, so he gets an extra dice. So he's going to be rolling 4 dice. So let's see. Just wanted to see if he has any magic he can cast to... Alright. So let's see what he rolls here. So... we have the guards attacking them. Okay, the crossed swords. He got a heroic, and then he got a retreat. All right. So because the Citadel Guards have these crossed swords, it causes 1 retreat. And then instead of using advance, this unit may move 1 hex and perform an additional attack. Unfortunately, let's see here. So the strike, if the attack is melee, the target unit suffers 1 damage. So he's going to suffer 2 damage from the 2 hits. And those 2 hits will cause a retreat of 2, and then he has another retreat. So he's actually going to have to retreat 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And now anything with just 1 unit left in it, unlike these guys only have 1 unit. But anybody else like this is considered weak. And there's some rules about that. And then these guys can advance after combat, right? Just trying to remember. Let's see, advance. Let's look up advance. After an attack eliminates an adjacent unit or forces an adjacent unit to move from its original box during combat, the attacking unit may advance, right? So he could actually advance, and if there was somebody there, because he's the Citadel Guards, he may perform an additional attack, but there's nobody there. And then this guy could attack, but there's nobody there. So that's it for blue. Blue is going to take 2 lore. And he's going to draw a combat card and end his turn. If I remember where his cards are, right here is his cards. Okay. So okay. Alrighty, which one are you going to activate? Let's see here. He is going to... Oh, so he's going to start his turn. He has 1 victory point. 1 victory point for having this location. So, victory points... I'll put victory points for red here. We'll put victory points for blue there. So, 1 for him. Alright, so what is he going to do? All right, he's going to patrol in the center. Patrol in the center. 3 moves. Okay. Let's see what we're going to do here. He's going to activate this big guy here and this real big guy here. But he's going to choose Predator, which is going to cost him 2 lore. So he's going to play this, 2 lore. He's going to roll 4 dice. And for every sword, single sword or double sword he rolls, he gets to move this guy 1 space. Move him 1 additional space. So he rolled 3, plus he's got a movement of 1, so he can move him up to 4 spaces. He can move him up to 4 spaces. Alright. So that's what that Predator does. That's kind of interesting. Alright. So this guy is going to move... Let's see. He's going to move... He's only going to move of 1. He's going to go 1. He's going to go right there. This big guy is going to go 1, 2... He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. Let's see. The cavalry can move 4 spaces, so cavalry can come out here. All right, there we go. We're going to try that. All right. So we're going to have this guy attack these guys first. Okay. So they attack with 4 dice. Wow, not good rule there. Okay. So that is going to be a big fat miss. These are ranged attacks. He's not using a ranged attack. This is if he has a special ability on his card that has like a little helmet symbol on it. Like this guy, the Overlord, does. See the little helmet symbol? If you roll that, then you get your special ability. He doesn't have that. So that doesn't do anything. And then the retreat. The question is, does he have to retreat from that? He is in a town. Or a building, I'm sorry, a building, not a town. A building can ignore 1 damage per combat, but it doesn't say you can ignore. So it looks like he's going to have to retreat a hex, which he will. Then he will move into that space. And he will be done. He will draw a combat card. And then he will draw 2 lore. He's up to 3 lore. Blue. Blue is going to get 1 victory point because he has that position. And now we got to see what he's going to do here. I'm going to put his cards. I'm going to put Blue's cards here. Red's cards are going to be over here. You can't see them because I'm in the way, but all right. Okay, he's going to do the line advance from his side of the board, which is going to 1, 1, and 1. Okay. He's going to activate this archers here. The archers can move 2 spaces. So he's going to go 1, 2. He's going to activate. He's going to activate the archers here and take over this building. And then for over here, these horses are really fast. He could try to kill off that guy. That's where this game is different in that before you would try to kill off enemy units to get banners, You don't get that in this game. You get just victory points. So I don't think does killing off units give you a... Let's see if killing off a unit gets you a victory point. Let's see. I know if they don't have any units. Let's look at victory points. So tell us how many. Players win the game by accumulating victory points. During a player's victory point step, they gain victory points for each hex containing a banner. The scenario cards describe additional ways to gain victory points. And that's it. That's all. So no, you don't get anything for killing enemy units. Although it helps from them coming back or using cards on them or whatever. So I think I'm going to just activate these archers. And I'm going to have them move one. Do I have to stop if I go into a woods hex? Forest hex. A unit moves into a forest hex, it must immediately end its move. Yes, so... Huh. Alright, I'm actually going to... yeah, alright, we'll put them there. Fine. Put them there. That's fine. Alright, now these archers can shoot... 2 dice, and they have a range of 1 to 4. So this guy, 1, 2, 3, he can shoot this guy for 2 dice. He's looking for just the little range symbol. Now this guy obviously is only a single unit, but the way they handle single units in this game is instead of having a whole bunch of characters, they only have 1 character, but they have a life value. He's got 6 hit points, basically. 6 hit points. All right. So 2 dice on this guy from here. He got a hit, so he's going to take a damage. And I will put that on his card. He's got 1 hit point. This guy will shoot him as well. He got a lore, which means he gets a lore. That is blue and lore over there. And does he have any... No. Okay. And then this guy can shoot this guy. And just another lore. So blue's getting plenty of lore. And speaking of which... Blue is going to draw 2 cards and keep 1, discard the other. Okay, he will take this one. He will discard this one. Oh, wait a minute. I grabbed the wrong damn cards. These are the red cards. Let me shuffle up the red deck. Let's try again. I got to draw from the blue deck. The blue deck. You think they would have, like, the blue deck and the red deck look the same, right? Okay. It's not just me. So blue will draw these 2. Okay. He will discard this one. And he's going to keep this one. And that is Blue's turn. He's going to draw a combat card. He should have 4 combat cards. He's done. Alright, back to Red. Let's see what Red wants to do now. Okay, we're going to play 3 attack in the center again. He gets 1 at the start of his turn. Victory point, that is. 1 victory point at the start of his turn. And 3 in the center. Now, it's going to be our big guy who's going to all right, he's going to go see, how far can these guys? These guys can move 2, huh? This guy can move 1. These guys can move 3. Alright, so I think I'm going to activate these 3 guys. He's going to move here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. Like that. Do you have anything you can play? Okay. Alright, so 3 attack in the center. These 3 guys moved. Now we're going to attack. It's going to be this guy first. 4 dice on those guys. Okay, now he is that. That is a damage. That is a retreat. So, oh no, he doesn't have that. Alright, so he's going to do 1 damage. Boom. And he's got to retreat. And this is nothing and that's nothing. So he's done. He's going to attack the archers. 4 dice for the Chaos Lord. The Chaos Lord attacking the Yeoman archers. Oh my gosh, that's bad news. That is bad news. That is bad news. Because he has a special ability. Terrify. Cause 2 retreats. So he's got to retreat 4 times And if the attack was melee and the attacking unit is strong, the target unit suffers a damage. So he takes a damage from this. Boom. And he's got to retreat 4 spaces, which is... no, he can... no, he can ignore a combat result. Actually, so right. He will ignore this damage because he's in the building. So ignores this damage, but he has to retreat 4 times, which is going to be 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, because he had to retreat and couldn't retreat any more. So that's pretty good. And not only that, but it keeps them from getting their 2 victory points. And he can advance into that space, which he probably should. Into the building. Let's go in the building. He gets a free defense that way. Why not? All right. Red is going to take a guard and a lore. Okay. And then he gets a combat card at the end of his turn. Back to blue. Blue. He's getting his whole center wrecked right now. He's getting his center wrecked right now. All right. What is blue up to? We're going to darken the sky, baby. Darken the sky. Order 3 archer units, which are going to be these guys, and this guy. During your attack step, each ordered archer unit that did not move may make an additional attack, which is interesting because the archers, if they don't move during your move step, it may perform an additional attack. So these guys are each, if they don't move, are going to get 3 attacks each with Darken the Sky. So, here we go. Does he have any special... All right, let's see. Let's see here. I'm just trying to bait him whether or not I'm going to play this card. I got Enchanted Arrows. During your turn, friendly archer units have double the maximum range and ignore units in blocking terrain when determining line of sight. In addition, damage caused by their combat rolls cannot be ignored. So, I think blue is going to play Darken the sky with some enchanted arrows, which is going to cost 4 lore. This is a pretty serious attack here. 4 lore, okay. So, he can ignore line of sight. He double range, so he can hit anyone from anywhere. And combat rolls can't be ignored. Which means this guy in the building, unit occupying a building may ignore 1 damage per combat. He can't do that. So I'm going to have this, we're going to have this guy attack him. And again, they're going to get 1 attack like normal, 2 attacks because of this, and then 3 attacks because they have yeoman archers. If this unit did not move during your move step, it may perform 1 additional attack during your attack step. This says, order 3 archer units during your attack step. Each ordered archer that did not move during your move step may perform 1 additional attack. So it sounds like they can combine together. So we're going to see if this is a possibility. So we're going to have this guy shooting at this guy. That's 1 and a lore. So he's up to 2 damage on him now. Because he can't ignore, the building would normally block, but this says you can't ignore damage. So that was his first shot. Second shot. Hit. He's up to 3 damage. Let's see. Okay, 3 damage. That was his second attack. Third attack, same thing. And nothing. So he's done. This guy's attacking. Now I gotta find out what weak units, what happens with weak units when they're, because he only has 1 unit left. A unit that only has 1 figure remaining is a weak unit. Units that have damage token icons on their unit reference sheet only consist of a single figure. These units are never weak. Weak units cannot cause damage with sword, a single sword icon when using a combat rule. Other effects, such as effects caused by lore cards or a command card, may allow a weak unit to cause damage. Yeah, he's not doing a melee attack anyways. So normally a melee attack hits on this or this, unless you're weak. Then you don't count this. But he's doing a ranged attack anyways, which means he needs this attack. Alright, so this guy on this guy. Attack number 1. See if we can get it focused back in for you here. There we go. Attack number 1. From this guy to here. He got a lore again. Second attack. Double. Wow. He rolled the double legendary. But he doesn't have a legendary ability. So it doesn't matter. Third attack. Retreat. But he can ignore the retreat because he is immobile 1. This unit may ignore 1 treat. So he can ignore a retreat. So that was that guy. Now we go to this guy, who again we can ignore range and units in the way. So I'm going to have this guy attack him as well. We need to do 3 more damage. There's 1. Second shot. 2, 3. That's it. He's dead. He is dead. He is dead. He is dead. He is dead. 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 That is 6 damage. 6. He had 4, plus we just rolled 2 more. The Chaos Lord is no more. Wow. That was... Now, not only that... Oh, Blue forgot to get his victory point at the start of his turn. He's never going to win if I don't give him his victory points. He should have had one at the start of his turn because of that. But now he's also going to play this card that says, play after an enemy unit is eliminated while on your half of the board. He was there. Gain a victory point. So he has taken the victory point lead now, 3-2. It costs him 2. So 2 lore. And those are 2 cards. And then he can discard this. All right, at the end of his turn, he is going to take 2 lore and a combat card. And that is Blue's turn. He's taking the lead 3-2. Red's turn. He gets 1 at the start of his turn. Red is now disappointed. He's got his big boss killed. Blue has got the advantage on him now. So let's see what Red wants to do about that. I think Red is going to play the echelon to the right. He's going to activate 2 units on the right and 1 on the left. The one on the left is going to be this guy. He's going to move these guys 1. Wait a minute. Let me think. If he moves into there, it's going to be hard for Blue to then... Blue gets 1 extra victory point if he owns 2 buildings. So getting in this building before Blue does sounds like a good thing. So he's going to go 1, 2, get in that building. And 2 over here. He's going to move this guy 1. And he's going to move this guy 1. So attacks. This guy can attack. This guy can attack. This guy can attack. He rolls 2 dice. Okay. He's gone. That's right, Doug. He's gone. So retreat and a miss. This guy can cancel a retreat. So it's a little weird. It's a little, I will be completely honest. This rule threw me for a loop. Retreat. Oh, shit. Retreat. Support. A unit is supported. Okay. If a unit is forced to retreat. No, wait. That's not what I want. Specific card effects and unit abilities, as well as flag results Force a unit to retreat. When retreating, a target unit must move 1 hex in the direction directly opposite the attacking unit for each retreat effect resolved. A unit is supported if he would be forced to retreat into a hex occupied by a friendly unit. So he would be forced to retreat, but he would be forced to retreat into that hex. So he doesn't have to retreat, I think, is the way it goes. So basically, if you got someone behind you, supporting you, so I believe that is correct. So he comes up, he does this, which does absolutely nothing, and he misses, and he's going to get a combat card, and he's going to take 1 and 1. All right. Blue's turn. Blue's turn. Okay. I'm going to select Battle March. So I can order 3 units that are not weak. Again, weak units are units with just 1 token in them. Like this guy is weak. So I want to activate these 3 guys here. This guy's going to go 1, 2. This guy is going to move 1. And this guy's going to move 1, 2. Alright, Battle March it is. This guy's going to attack. This guy normally attacks with 3 dice. No, I'm sorry, 2 dice. But he's adjacent to this guy, so he gets an extra die. He's going to be attacking with 3 dice. Miss, miss, and a retreat. I don't think he can ignore that retreat in a building. The building says you can ignore 1 damage. Doesn't say you can ignore 1 retreat. So I think he's got to retreat a space. Which means this guy can advance in there or no? Can he advance into that space after combat? Yeah, he can advance. So he can advance into that space. He should have got 1 at the start of his turn. He should have got 1 at the start of his turn. Alright, this guy can attack. He only gets 2 dice. Or does he want to attack this guy? Because this guy is going to... I don't think he wants to actually attack that guy in the building. That would be kind of a bad thing. Alright, so that's Blue's turn. Got a combat card. He's going to take 1 and 1. 1 combat. And 1 lore. Alright, back to the red player. Red player gets a lore. We're only going to play up to 10. Normally you play to 15. We're only going to play to 10. So, red. No. Alright. He's going to attack in the center with this guy, and this guy. Okay, so yeah, all 3 of these guys. This guy's going to move 1, 2. And these guys are not going to move. They're just going to attack. So we're going to start with these guys. 3 dice. Okay, so he did roll this. Bloodthirsty. If the target unit has suffered 1 or more damage, cause 1 damage. Well, he can ignore this because he's in a building, so he can ignore that. So this, he didn't do any damage, so that doesn't have any effect. But he does have to retreat a space, which means this guy can move in there. Then we're going to go with this guy. 4 dice on that guy. Oh my gosh, 2 lore and 2 retreats. Oh, you can ignore the retreats, but I'll take the 2 lore. Alright, so alright. So that was kind of anticlimactic. He's going to get a card. And then he's going to take 2 lore. You can only have 4 lore cards. So you can have more, but at the end of the turn you got to discard. So alright, blue is only get 1 again. 1 initiative. Or 1 victory points. It's up to 5. Because he keeps losing this building. So let's see what he's going to do about that, huh? Not a lot. He's going to activate 1, 1, and 1. 1, 1, and 1. going to activate these archers from the right section. 1, 2. He's going to activate these guys from this section. And he's going to activate these archers from that section. So first, the archers are going to... no, we're going to have this guy attack first. So he's going to do 2 dice plus 1 for this guy. So 3 dice. Alright, so a retreat. He does not. So he gets a lure. So blue with the lure. And this guy's going to have to retreat, and this guy will move in again. Then this guy will shoot him. Because now he's not in the building. And he got a hit. That's going to knock that guy out. Okay. And our last guy was this guy, who is going to shoot these guys. Ping! Another lure. So blue is racking up the lure. Let's see what he's got. He's going to draw 2 cards and keep 1. Oh my gosh. I'm going to discard this one. He doesn't need any more lore. That card was just going to give him more lore. And then he gets 1 combat card, 1 combat card at the end of his turn. And we go back to red. Red is now up to 5 victory points. Again, if he kills anyone that's adjacent to a river, he gets a victory point. So maybe you should try to do that. He's going to attack on the left. He only has 2 units, so it's going to be both of these guys. He's going to move this guy 1, 2, 3. This guy is going to attack. Okay. So we're going to have this guy attack those guys first. There's 3 dice. And that's a damage, what they can ignore. Miss and a lure. So that was an absolutely terrible attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Absolutely terrible attack. This guy is going to attack that guy. 3 dice. Ooh. He's going to get a lure. But he's going to miss out because these don't do anything. They would do great if he did 1 damage. If he would have hit him and done a damage, then these do extra damage. But he didn't do that, so he didn't do anything. He missed both of his attacks. Not great. He gets a combat card at the end of his turn. And he's going to draw 2 and keep 1. Okay. Blue. Now, blue actually gets 2. He gets 1 for having this, and then he gets 1 for having those 2 units in that building. And now blue is up to 7-5 lead. Alrighty. I think we're just going to patrol on the right, which is going to be these 2 units. Let's see if there's anything special we can do here. All right, let's see. This guy's going to go 1, 2. He is going to attack with 2 dice. A hit. And these guys get to retaliate because they didn't have to retreat for the first time. This whole game, the first unit is going to be able to retaliate. And he got a sword hit. And 2 retreats. That's it, huh? And I guess he's going to draw 2 cards. Okay. Red gets 1 victory point. Alright, red really needs to get one of those buildings. Alright, he's going to go 1, 2, and 1. These guys are going to attack them. This guy's going to move up. And this guy's going to move up. And this guy's going to attack him. Alright, this guy first will do this attack over here. Alright, so a hit and a hit. He can only ignore 1. So he's going to take a hit. And a lure. Now he gets to retaliate. That is archers. 2 dice. That misses because it's shooting. Wow. Alright, so now this guy is going to attack those guys with 4 dice. Try to knock them out of the building. 2 lure. You can ignore this again, but you can't ignore retreat, unfortunately. And this guy moved up, so he's going to attack there. 2 dice. Retreat. All right. Blue gets a combat card. Blue gets another victory point. He's up to 8. All this fighting for the center, boys. Jeez Louise. Boy, oh boy. He's going to do Battlelore. So roll 4 dice, and then based upon what he rolls, that's the units he gets to activate. So you got a circle, which is an infantry or cavalry. That is infantry or cavalry. Infantry or cavalry. And an elite or legendary. He has no elite or legendaries. But you can order 3 infantry or cavalry. Infantry or cavalry, huh? He's going to activate these 3. This guy's going to move here. This guy's going to move here. And this guy. So those 3 are the ones that I'm attacking with. We'll attack with this guy first. Just 2 dice, actually. Uh, 2 hits. This guy gets to return fire. He's going to attack with all 4. That could be a problem. Oh, wait. He actually only takes 1 hit because he can ignore 1 because of the building. So he's retaliating. That's 2 hits. 2 hits. And that's going to kill him. Next up, these guys are going to attack. Now, they get 3 dice because they're adjacent to this guy. Wow. A retreat that they can cancel. A lure. Alright. And that was terrible. Now, this guy gets to hit him back. That guy has been really tough in that building. Holy crap. He's going to hit him for 2. And get another lure for the red team. Okay. Now it's the archers. They get 4 dice on that guy. You know what? They're going to attack these guys, actually. That's 2 hits, and that's going to kill them. And you might wonder, why would you do that? Well, there's always a reason, right? Oh, I didn't take the card, did I? Okay, forget it. Never mind. All right, red's turn. Oh, he gets a card at the end of his turn. And then he gets 2 combat cards. Wow, some of these cards are just not as good as I remembered. All right, red. Red is get victory point. Again, we're only playing to 10 victory points. Right now it is 7 for red, 8 for blue. Oh my gosh. These guys are dead. He's going to go attack on the right. Let's see. This guy's going to go here. This guy is going to go... no. No. I can't move off of that or I don't get the bonus. So... this guy will go here. That guy will attack. That guy can't do anything. That didn't work out really well, did it? 2 dice on those guys. 2 lore. Wow, that's terrible. Plenty of lore. I don't have anything to spend it on, really. Yeah, some of these cards are just, I'm not a big fan of their, no. All right, retaliating, he can retaliate back. 2 hits, woo. Okay. That's all he can do. Back to blue. Gets 1 victory point at the start of his turn. If he can get 1 more this time, he wins. No good. That might be good, actually. Let's see. What can I do? He's going to do this one. Echelon left. Activating 2 on the left. One in the center. Right, so he's going to move 1, 2, 3. That guy is. I'm going to activate. I'm going to activate this guy, and I'll show you why here in a second. No, wait a minute. I'm going to activate this guy. Am I going to activate that guy? No. Let's activate this guy, and even better, we'll activate this guy. This guy right here. So that guy, this guy, and the archers. Okay, now I moved everyone. And now I've got a trick up my sleeve, which is for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Choose a friendly unit. All enemy units adjacent to the chosen unit must move 1 hexes directly away from that unit. I am going to select I've been debating about what I want to do. I guess I'm going to select this guy. You know what? I'm actually going to select this guy. I was going to select this guy, but now I've changed my mind. I'm going to select this guy. Because these guys are going to have to move 1. This guy's going to have to move 1. This guy's going to have to move 1. This guy's going to have to move 1. Alright, so there you go. Ha ha ha. They had to move them all away. Unfortunately, I can't jump on that now. Too late. But the last guy I got to... So I had 2 guys over here. It was this guy and this guy. So he's going to shoot this guy. And killed him. Okay. I think that's going to make... I think blue's going to win because, well, I can't... We'll play it out. You never know. So red start of the turn, he gets no victory points. Because he doesn't own this anymore. And blue has got 9. So if blue gets 1 more victory point, it's over. So red's got to do whatever he can to try and get that guy out of there. He's going to play 2 on the left and 2 on the right. But it'd be like that. I know, wait, this is red, so it'd be over here and here. And so he's going to move this. 1, 2, 3. This guy's going to go 1, 2. This guy will just stay there and fight. We'll start over here. 1 hit and a retreat. Only 1 hit because of the building. Now, if these guys don't knock this guy off, this guy is weak though, so no single swords count. That doesn't count. He does a damage and 2 misses. Wow. This guy gets to retaliate with 2 dice and kills him. And now this guy has got to hit and help force him to retreat or it's game over. I missed and a miss. So that means it's game over. Because at the start of the turn, blue earns 1 victory point and that is it. That is 10 victory points. Again, I think you normally play to a 15, but we're going to play a shorter game. Fred's Factorum. Thanks for the stream. I'm done painting World War II Belgians and off to bed. Cheers. Thanks, buddy. Doug Sessions, he's gone. I think that was when we killed the big boss a long time ago. So blue is the winner, and there's different faction names. Although there is the something something and the something somethings. The Dragoon Lords and the Yukin Yuan. Battlelore, 2nd edition. Alright, well there you go. It was a close battle, but at the end, Blue was able to hold on tight to that one location. Red didn't have enough forces there, especially after he lost his big boss in the middle earlier in the game. And yeah, the boss loses arms and he's down on the field, dead. And there you go. So, probably going to be doing a review on this game. As well. To be honest, after playing this now, it reminds me of everything that I remember from 10, 12, 13 years ago when the last time I was playing this. And the change from the 1st edition to the 2nd edition. So, it is challenging, to say the least, for to play this game. In my opinion, it's challenging. It is. Oh, you had too many spell cards. You had 5. Look at that cheating. Look at that cheater. The red player was a cheater. Yeah. Where do I even start? The spell cards. A lot of them have to do with like specific units, which after this guy got killed, like I had a card to move him around, which doesn't do anything because he's dead. So, and then some of these other ones just roll 4 dice and keep rolling on it until you get the result. And this one is just get 3 lore. It's these lore cards. I was never a big fan of their lore cards. It's in my opinion, I came from Heroes of Might and Magic, which is what I thought this game should have strived to be if you're familiar with the Heroes of Might and Magic board game, or computer game. I wanted a Heroes of Might and Magic with lots of fantasy creatures and spells and doing all kinds of cool things. Battlelore never did that. Never really did any kind of... 1st edition, it was all non-fantasy creatures. There was a few extra creatures they threw in. There was a dragon and a water elemental, but if you look at like all their expansion packs, it's like dwarven berserkers and knights, and it was like, it was basically Lord of the Rings is what it was. There was no like fantasy creatures, like real fantasy creatures. So I always thought that was very disappointing. And then even in this edition, like the Citadel Guards are human guards. The Yeoman Archers are human archers. And the Riverwatch Riders are like human horsemen. The Blood Harvesters, as much as you want them to be like some kind of crazy They're basically like savages, or like human savages. You have an ogre. You have some, they call it a flesh ripper, but it's basically a dog. And then, of course, the Chaos Lord, which is a fantasy creature. But when you look at the overall arching thing, it's supposed to be a fantasy, but it's just never gave me the fantasy vibe because it was always like using normal humans during their fights, which drove me crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's specifically, and I will have to do a review on this because I'm sure some people will wonder about this. The lore cards in the second edition aren't as good as the first edition, in my opinion. They just don't do a lot of cool things. Second editions are supposed to be upgrades from the first edition. You take everything that was good in the first edition and you upgrade it to a second edition. You add new cool things and you fix all the shit that's broken in the first edition. That's what I think a second edition should be. First edition, take all the good things, add a few things, fix a few things, boom, you got a great second edition. How you feel?
It's really bad.
Did you take some more aspirin? Did you brush your teeth?
Yes, I just did.
Okay, good.
Tomorrow's trash day. If you don't want that Chinese stuff,
I'll take it to work.
okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
okay.
otherwise put it in the trash.
No, I'll have it. All right. Hope you feel better. All right. So what was I saying? Can't remember what I was saying. I apologize. The wife has got a migraine going on right now, so I was trying to help her out here. And so yeah, the second edition. Oh boy, I'm just gonna have to have a long little conversation about this because they added these two factions, which I thought, oh, that sounds cool. They got two new factions. Problem is, the combat system is now dumbed down. It's not as interesting. Unfortunately, there is a longer time to actually get in and play a scenario because you got to go through the whole setup procedure of figuring out which one of your little scenario cards are going to run, and then you got to muster your army, and then you got to build it on the battle board, and then you finally put the units on the battle board, and that whole process takes like half an hour to an hour, and it's just like I could have been done with a scenario by the time you guys even start a scenario. It's crazy. The good thing about Battlelore, in my opinion, the first edition, was that they had a very good, solid system. Get the kill enemy units, get their flags, kill 5 enemy units, boom, you win. In this game, it's all about the victory points, and you can see getting these victory points are not very easy. You're maybe getting one every turn, and if you got to do 15 victory points, that's like 15 rounds minimum you're going to be playing through. Minimum 15? No, 16, because the first round you don't start with any of the victory points, so you're not going to have any of those victory points. So minimum, you're going to be playing through 16 rounds, which drags the game out even farther, in my opinion, again. There's only... Like in this game, you think, oh, wow, there's so many cool things. There's not. There is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 units. That's all there is. You don't get a ton of 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm sorry, 10 units. 5 on each side. You have 5 units. They're all basically the same. You have a footman. You have a cavalry unit. You have an archer. You have a bigger unit, our big fat blob guys on the red team, and the blue team basically has golems, which are the same thing as those, and then both sides have a boss. That's it. So you only have basically two different factions that do the same thing with the same kind of units. It's the it's I know what I was saying now. What I liked about what I think is second edition should be is you take all the problems with the first edition, you figure out what the problems are, you fix them, and you upgrade it with a new, better, cool system, and you help all those people that spent all the money on the first edition and kind of inspire them to say, oh, I know you spent a lot of money on your first edition, and we've got a new second edition coming up, but we're going to make it so much better and so much cooler for you. And this game didn't do any of that. None of it. To be honest. None. It is, right. I cannot believe. I thought after all these years, it would probably be better. It'd be better or more interesting. No, it's still the same old, I don't know what Fantasy Flight was thinking with this edition. It's got so many problems. It's unbelievable. Unfortunately, it doesn't have very many units. All the units are basically the same. It takes a lot longer to actually get the game to the table because you're got to go through the whole process of creating and building and mustering your army and organizing it and getting it all out and putting it together instead of just building it based upon first edition scenarios. This was such a big flop. They didn't even, as I recall, release that many expansions for second edition, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they released that many editions. They changed the way you earn victory points and how to win, which nobody liked. It's just a calamity of taking all of the good things and removing all the good things, making it and changing all the good rules to bad rules and just ruining a game system. Talk about best way to ruin a game system, I guess. It's all right. Well, there you go. Not much good to say about this one, unfortunately. I mean, it's a fine game if you're doing. The lore, the lore cards just didn't inspire me. There's just a lot of this game that don't really inspire me with some of the rules, some of the way they change things, and they certainly didn't improve it from first edition. In fact, in my opinion, it was a downgrade. And then not only that, but then they did come out with. Did they come out with another edition, third edition? I can't remember if they did or not. I don't know. Going back and reliving some of these games and seeing them and hoping that things would be changed and be different, and you could appreciate them from your youth and remember all the good times you had playing them and everything. And and then you try them and you're like, my God, this is a horrible game. Oh my God. That's like the third or fourth time I've done that now. And they're all Fantasy Flight games, and I don't know what I was thinking back in the day with Fantasy Flight, I guess. And that's kind of why Fantasy Flight's now not the company it used to be, because they had so many good games, and then they went and messed them all up and started creating second and third editions that ruined them, in my opinion. Well, there you go. Battlelore 2nd Edition. I don't think we're going to be bringing that one back to the channel, but I wanted to give it a try and see. If I'm going to play Battlelore, I'll go back and play 1st Edition. 1st Edition was fine. Much better than I think 2nd Edition. But we'll do a review on this maybe sometime soon. Until then, my friends, thanks Fred, thanks Doug, everyone that came by. I do appreciate it. I don't mean to talk down. If you enjoy this game, great. I'm happy for you. I just don't like a lot of the design decisions they made for this one. And for me, it's just bad gameplay and not really fun, and kind of a sad end of the story. Battlelore 2nd Edition. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time. Until then, take care of yourselves, and remember, I will see you all down the line.